I have the power to see a movie by myself now because I just did it for Masters of the Universe. So let's talk about it. Hey guys, how's it going? I just got done seeing Masters of the Universe quite literally like an hour ago, and I wanted to get this review out, so I'm doing it now. And this was a movie I was excited for, but I wasn't like overly excited for. I'm just trying to see a new movie every weekend, and this one seemed to be doing better than Scary Movie 6, which was the other one on my list, so I'll probably just wait for that one to come to streaming. I don't really know anything about this property, to be honest. I talked to my parents. They said they watched Masters of the Universe back in the day. I saw some clips of the TV show. It looked very cheesy and corny. Never really got into it myself, but I understood like the main line that, you know, is I have the power or whatever. That's basically it, and the name of He-Man. But that's basically I didn't go in. And I went into this movie by myself, hoping to have a good time, hoping it would brighten up my Sunday, and honestly, it kind of did. Starting off with the good, I think this movie has a lot of style. I think this movie is really well directed, and it's actually done by Travis Knight, who was the guy that did Bumblebee, and now he's adapting this new 80s, 90s cartoon, Masters of the Universe, and he does really well at these. He manages to bring these cartoons to life in a really interesting and vibrant way, especially with this movie. This movie is extremely colorful, it's extremely action-packed, it's very cartoony, and that kind of works to its benefit and its detriment, which I'll get into later. But starting off with things that it does well with it, like just talking about the action sequences, they're just really fun to watch. Like I was thoroughly entertained from the beginning to the end. The way they explores the home world of He-Man I thought was really fun. It's a cool, vibrant world to be in. All the characters are all distinct and different. They all have something about each other that stands out. And it was fun to watch them do stuff on screen and go fight each other. And I actually found a big standout in this movie to be Jared Leto's Skeletor. And I know, it's shocking to hear that Jared Leto is actually a standout in a movie and not for the worst reason possible. But I mean, maybe it's just because you don't really know it's Jared Leto the whole time, but however he did his voice and his charisma and everything, I thought Skeletor was honestly a really entertaining villain, and one of the more fun villains I've seen in a movie like this in a really long time. Super memorable, super fun to watch. And I liked his dynamic that he had with He-Man, and he honestly stole every scene that he was in. I also think the soundtrack and the music in this movie is really good too. I mean, it's probably pulled straight from the cartoon, but it is really, really, really fun. And it definitely elevates a lot of these sequences. And overall, I just found, the movie is really fun and entertaining. Idris Elba plays a really fun and entertaining character in this movie. He's always fun to watch on screen. And it really does feel like a cartoon come to life, like more so than Bumblebee did when he did that film as well. There's some really fun world building in here, and there's some good setup for what could come in the future, even though I don't know if this movie's going to get a sequel, which is unfortunate because I feel like this movie kind of falls into a similar camp as like the Dungeons and Dragons movie that came out a few years ago, or like Transformers 1, or hell, we can even throw like Furiosa into that mix as well, to where you can get these movies that are super fun and super entertaining, but no one really goes to see them because A, they're not advertised well, or there's just not much interest in for them. And it kind of falls into that camp. Now, out of the movies I just listed, I would say this is probably my least favorite, but it still does fall into that camp of movie I enjoyed that's gonna probably flop. Moving on into the stuff I was mixed about this movie, I don't really know how I feel about the humor. This movie is really silly and goofy, and it knows it is though. Like I can kind of respect it for that, because it's not like it's trying to be serious and it just comes off goofy. No, it knows it's goofy and it goes for it in these certain sequences. But I feel like it also could have had some actual emotion and some actual depth, but the humor kind of undercuts it in a lot of the sequences, kind of like what Marvel's been doing for a bit. And there is one scene where the humor doesn't undercut it, and it actually works as being this emotional scene, but every other scene, the humor kind of undercuts it. But the reason it's in the mix is because I did have some chuckles here and there. I was laughing during the movie. There was one scene that made me laugh out loud, and I looked like an idiot in front of the whole theater, but that's okay because I was there by myself. So overall, the humor for me was kind of a mixed bag. Half of it kind of worked, half of it didn't, and it just undercut some of the emotional sequences, which I wasn't a huge fan of. And moving on to the stuff I didn't like about this movie, it's just kind of not fully my thing. I walked into this movie hoping to have a good time. I left having a good time. And by the end of it, I was like, that was cute, that was fun. I don't know if I need to see much more of that. If they make a sequel, I'll probably watch it, but I don't know if I would rush out to the theaters to go see it. This movie does do a good job of establishing lore and establishing character and establishing like the world building and everything. It's not anything that this movie does particularly wrong. It's just not a world that I'm super invested to go back to. And yeah, so I had a good time with it, but I don't really need to care to go rewatch it, and that's just because this movie does go really silly and goofy at times, and I do like my movies to have a bit more drama, a bit more weight behind them, and that's just not what this movie kind of has. That's not a problem towards the directing, the acting. I think all that is really good, and I think everyone does a good job for what they were trying to make. Like, I think they honestly made the movie they were trying to make. It's just not fully my kind of thing. The character of He-Man kind of took me a bit to warm up to. Is no problem to the actor. I think he does a good job in it, but he does constantly, again, be goofy, and he's a bit jokey, and he's a bit of a loser at the start of the movie. And, you know, once he starts to get to these emotional places, I thought he did really well, but like, I wish he had more of that in the movie. I do like the way they used that he had his real-time job in human relations and how he uses that throughout the film. I thought that was a nice ongoing gag, but the character did take me a little bit to warm up to. There's also a character that shows up in the third act of this movie. I'm going to kind of get into a little bit of spoilers, so just skip ahead if you haven't seen it. But his mother shows up in the third act of this movie, and he sees her and he gives her a big hug, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, Mom, it's good to see you." And then she's gone throughout the whole movie. She never shows up again. I don't know if I missed something, that maybe she was going somewhere to do something. I have no idea, but she was just not there throughout the rest of the movie, and I thought that was a big deal because of how their relationship was during the start of the movie when he was a kid. Overall, I don't have too many issues with this movie. I just don't think it was fully my thing. I was cringing a bit, but I know that it was kind of in play with the movie. But yeah, again, it's just, to me, it went too goofy, and it could have had a bit more weight to it. And if it did do that, then it would have been, in my opinion, more fun, and it could have been on the level of like the Dungeons and Dragons movie previously. But overall, it was fun. Overall, with He-Man Masters of the Universe, I'm going to give it a 70%. And on the rewatchability scale, I'm actually going to say I can throw this on any time because it is really rewatchable. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon. So if my parents or anyone else really wanted to watch it, I'd be happy to watch it again because it is a fun movie. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Stay tuned for more reviews coming very soon. I want to see Disclosure Day bad next week, so hopefully that's going to be good. But overall, let me know what you guys thought of Masters of the Universe down below in the comment section. Did you like it? Were you a fan of this before you went in? I want to know all that fun stuff down below in the comment section. Let me know. And remember to stay tuned for more reviews very soon, and have a good one.